Hey all, so getting ready for the trip. I got a couple more days till I leave. Got my flu shot this morning, got my oil changed. I also rearranged the back here and switched where the fridge was and the my basket and the battery. And I did that so I could access the fridge much better. So I think this will be a much better position. And also so the plug that goes from the battery into the 12 volt that's in the center console isn't strained, and now it actually has a lot of room. So I think that will be a much better configuration. Very productive this morning. I haven't actually done any of my daily routine things though, but that's okay. It is what? 9:59, so almost 10 a.m. I have a client call at noon. That's the only thing I have scheduled today as far as specific times or anything. Not that my oil change or my flu shot was scheduled, but they were scheduled according to me. I got the oil change place open at 8, the flu shot open at 9. I went to each of those places around about the same time. So I also did some more grocery shopping. I needed bread, so I bought some dark rye bread because they didn't have the rye bread that I usually get. They didn't have. I find that rye bread lasts longer in the car than other kinds of bread. I also really like it. But so like this is 14 grams of carbs per slice, and that's a kind of like, that's what I want from my bread, so I can eat a sandwich, and that's just 2 carb units. So, because I have diabetes, if you're watching this video and you don't know that. And then I can still have one more carby thing at my lunch and have it still be under 45 carbs, which is what my doctor says to have, is between 30 and 45 carbs. And according to my blood sugar, that works really well for me. So got that bread. I haven't had this dark rye bread in a really long time, so hopefully I still like it. I have lunch meat. I also bought some cheese for sandwiches. I needed some more tea until I get on the road. And actually, like when I'm actually on the road, I don't know if I'm going to have tea or coffee. I think it depends on how cold it is in the morning, but when I'm in Yellowstone, I'm definitely going to make coffee because it's going to be like 30 degrees there in the morning. And I'm also going to have hot breakfast. That's the other thing I'm going to have when I'm at Yellowstone. I'm going to have hot breakfast, hot coffee, because it will be really, really cold. And I can't really have food in the car anyway, inside the cabin, because of bears. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do if at night I might take my battery and my fridge and put them in the bear locker. So that way inside the car, there isn't any food. That's probably the safest solution for when I'm at Yellowstone. Because to be honest, the place I'm the most worried about bears is actually in the campground, because that, like, it seems, oh, someone's coming through the side. It's interesting. Okay. So it seems like the campgrounds is where the most bear activity tends to be. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. That's what I'm thinking I'll do, is I'll put the fridge and the battery in the bear locker while I'm sleeping. So inside this cabin, there isn't any food. When I'm just sleeping in a rest stop or something, I'm not super worried about it. Or, you know, like on that trip, I planned, besides the campgrounds, I'm planning to go to sleep at rest stops, sleep at just kind of dispersed camping that's not very far down because I'm in a Honda Civic, you know, random pullouts, you know, that kind of thing. And we'll just see how it goes. And because the big issue is, you know, I can't drive this on sand. This is 2-wheel drive, not high clearance. You know, I mean, it's front wheel drive, so I can go on I mean, the thing is, I can go on gravel roads and dirt roads. It just depends on the road, right? That's one thing I found is I look on iOverlander or whatever, and sometimes it says this is only for 4-wheel drive, but if it doesn't say one way or the other, that doesn't mean that it's okay. Like, and besides the fact that you always have to look at the actual conditions. Is it muddy? You know, all that kind of stuff. So this morning, I need to do most of my routines, and I have my call, as I said. And then besides that, I'm just going to kind of look at my to-do list for before I go on the trip. I do want to do editing some more videos and uploading some more things, but we'll see how much of that stuff I actually get done before I get on the road, because getting on the road is the getting on the road things are the higher priority, because I have a couple weeks of videos uploaded for this channel. The battery is going well. It hardly uses any power during the night because it's cold, you know, and also I don't open it. The biggest thing that I'm finding that is the kicker with how much power the fridge uses is how often do I open it, which of course makes sense, right? So one of the reasons I moved where it was is because it makes it easier to see inside of it, so I don't have to open the doors long. Yeah. So my plan now is to just do my normal day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey, all. So just sharing an update about the fridge. You can see it back there and the battery back there. So I got the case for it. So it's got some nice insulation, and it's kind of running now in kind of real circumstances. It's not hot or anything like that. Used very little power overnight, which makes sense because I didn't open it and it was in the high 50s overnight. So it didn't really need that much power to keep things cool. Today, during the day, I have used it. I've opened it up and put food in it, put new food in it that I had to cool down, right? Including a thing of iced tea. So I had to cool down all that liquid, which is probably the hardest thing to cool down is like a solid thing, you know? I don't know. Maybe solid stuff is more than liquids. I don't know. And put in some more food. I also got stuff out for breakfast. I got stuff out for lunch. And so it's had to run more, but still the battery is at 85% right now. Now, what I do is I have it actually charging, hooked up to the car. So whenever I drive around town or whatever I do, it's charging up. And that's realistic. That's what I would be doing. If I'm like somewhere at a campsite and I'm not moving, then I would similarly hook it up to solar. I have a solar panel. It's not in the car right now, but I'll have it with me when I'm traveling. And I would have the solar panel out where the sun is, you know, and then run the wire to the battery that's sitting in here. So yeah, I'm feeling very good about it right now. I'm very positive about it and excited because having this makes my life be much, much better. Because like even just, I had a sandwich with lunch meat, with cheese, with mayonnaise that was actually cold, you know? So I'm still using the packet mayonnaise actually because I have a bunch of them, but now I put the packet mayonnaise in the fridge and now it's cold mayonnaise, which is correct, the right kind of mayonnaise. So later this afternoon, I'm gonna heat up some leftovers. So that will be really nice to have leftovers, and means I only have to cook once every, you know, 3 or 4 days, and I just cook up a whole bunch of food and then I eat it over those times. It's also easier to cook 4 servings of something because things tend to be in 4 servings. You know, you buy a pound of something, of, you know, ground beef is what I bought, or ground turkey, or whatever meat, or you have that much beans or lentils, or like 4 servings tends to be the normal amount for recipes, and it just is easier to do. And then I split that up. And then I only have to cook once every 4 days. I have to reheat the food, obviously, but that's much less energy than actually cutting things up and cooking them and what have you. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, it's just having snacks in there. I have some cream cheese. I have cream cheese and crackers. So it's nice to have variety in that way. Now I still have a plastic box in my trunk that has all my protein bars and meat sticks and all kinds of different great snacks. And I will still be using that. They're great for hiking. They're great for when I don't want to even remotely cook anything at all, when I need to eat while I'm driving on the way, you know. Those are the stuff those shelf-stable things I will still have. And they're also good emergency supplies. One of the things that also I'm happy about is it actually must be insulated pretty well, because when I had it half full of frozen stuff, it hardly ran at all. So I could use it as a cooler if like something was wrong with my batteries, so they broke, whatever. I could use that. You have to buy ice probably every day or two, but I might have to do it with a regular cooler of that size, unless it was one of the fancy pants ones. I'm not even convinced those are actually any better or not. But so I'm feeling very good about this, and I'm appreciative of having a fridge, at least for right now. I reheated my food, and I did it on my jetboil, which is not designed it's not designed for cooking or reheating. It's designed for boiling water. That's what it's designed for. It cooks at an incredibly high BTU, and so of course it burned the bottom of it just a little bit, but really not that much. So I actually think it's going to be totally fine and great for reheating food. But what I'm going to do, what I should have done, is put in like a small layer of water at the bottom to kind of buffer the food from getting burned effectively. It needs to be on for the tiniest amount of time. And then put the food all in, like a little tiny layer of water, put the food all in, and then turn it on, and then stir. It's done. Like that. And I mean seconds, and then it's done. It's like a microwave, except it's using a protein butane mix. So that's gonna actually work. I just had to troubleshoot it. So like at the bottom of this is like is like some tiny burnt pieces. I actually have no scrubber thing. It must be in my storage. So I'm actually going to go over to my storage and see if I can find that little scrubber thing. I have like one of those little scrub daddy things. If it's not there, then I'm going to go buy one, because that'll clean this up. Like, it'll be not hard at all to clean it up. And the next time I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I actually ate a third, so instead of that ground beef being in 4 servings, I'm actually eating it in 3 servings, because that's how much I ate. These tortillas, or I put them back in the fridge. These tortillas are actually really small. So it makes sense to just have, I can have each one is like 7 grams of carbs. Oh, don't tip over. It is 7 grams of carbs. So I had 4 of them, which was really nice to be able to eat. I actually didn't even heat up the tortillas, and they were fine. I mean, obviously they've been much better heated, but they're fine. So I had it with sour cream. It was great. And by the way, the ground beef had peppers and onions, and obviously it had sauce in it. So it didn't really need anything else. It was very, very nice, simple meal. Very filling, very satisfying. So yeah, so next time for my reheating using the jetboil, I'm gonna put in a liter of water, I'm gonna put all the food in, and then I'm gonna turn on that way. Other update is on the fridge and the battery. So the fridge is like at 70, I don't remember what it was, 78%. So the big thing is that when I'm in town, I do drive around a fair amount, but my driving tends to be like 10 or 15 minutes each time. I'm going from parking lot to parking lot, you know, but it's not like long drives. So that needs to get charged up, it needs a little bit more than that. I'm not 100% sure how much it actually needs to get it back to 100. So mostly because I can't just look at the thing where it says, oh, I need X hours to get back, because it also some of the times running the actual fridge, which then takes away 50 watts. So it pulls about 100 watts. That's the max it can input into that receptacle. It won't pull any more than that. So even if I try to hook it up a different way, like they design them that way, so it maxes out 100 watts, so you don't hurt your car. So that's just how those batteries are. And that really makes me think about how in the future with my next build, I want to put in an actual system where I can have maybe 200 amp hours, you know, to have 2 100 amp hour batteries, and then have my own solar set up, solar on the roof, and then also have, and one of the things about solar on the roof that would be kind of nice is it could charge while I'm driving. And then I could have some coming in through the car, and then also something coming in through solar. And both of those charging at the same time. And that, you know, would be able to pull in a lot more power, obviously. Would make a big difference. No matter what happens, I'm always going to have 2 batteries. I mean, I don't just mean 2 batteries, I mean 2 battery systems, because I would always have a freestanding system for the CPAP, because I think from a risk management perspective, that's very important. If my main system goes down, I have to have something else. Even if I actually use that main system for the CPAP most of the time, I have to have another battery that's charged so I can always run the CPAP. So now I'm gonna head back over to the library. I was at a park to do this. It's a park that I used to take my son to when my son was really little, and it was great then. It's more like now, it used to be when that was a long time ago. I mean, like more than 15 years ago. And I had no trouble finding a parking spot back then, and it was great. Now, everybody's discovered it over those last 15, 20 years. And so it's not, you know, it's not like I can just easily go over there and for sure get a parking spot in the shade. I was in partial shade, so that was okay, but not the best. So I'm going back over to, actually first I'm gonna go to my storage unit and see if I can find that little scrubber thing. And while I'm at my storage unit, I'll probably use that as an opportunity to kind of adjust everything in the car. And then I'll go back over to the library probably to go to the bathroom and also just do some work. I have some client email stuff to do for my law firm, and I haven't answered comments on my other channel, on my legal channel, for like many days. So I need to go through and answer comments and check in the Discord and all that stuff for that channel. All right, so I'm off to do all those things later. This might be terrible with the signs. Okay, you're gonna go there. I think that might actually be okay, even though you have a steering wheel in your view. So I'm gonna use this on here, and I'm gonna put a little more, where's the soap? A little more soap in here, and little water and see if we can get the yuckiness out of there. I'm going to show it to you. You can see, yeah, some burned black spots in there. So I'm going to try to get those out. Let's see if that is coming out. Might be that I have to get it hot again, which I don't want to. So let's see. Look any different? Maybe a little bit. They have other jet boils that actually have a simmer where you can actually control how hot it gets. This one, at the time I got it, this was the only one that existed. And I got this for heating up water, and I've literally never done anything besides heat up water. And I was like, I'm never going to do anything except heat up water with this. But here we are, and I totally used something other than, heated up something other than water. It's actually really hard to scrub in the bottom of a cylinder. So I'm actually thinking that I just colored the metal, that's not stuff on there, that's something with like the metal. I just checked over my text to see how the battery was like. It looks like it's using about 20% a day, because I had drive around a little bit during the day and it ups it, but that's kind of real-time use. So yeah, that's very sustainable, because I'm going to eventually go on long drives and then fill it back up. I think it's going to be okay. I'm just going to keep proceeding with it. Okay, so putting a layer of water on the bottom worked great. Heated up my food in like faster than a microwave. It was really amazing. So that's really the secret, is it has to have a layer of water, or probably oil would work fine if it was something that would be more appropriate. I think this is only good for reheating foods that have a sauciness to them, but that's fine because a huge amount of the foods that I make have sauciness aspect to them. It is a difficult thing to clean out because it's this like tube. You have to kind of stick your hand in, but you know, that's fine. It's no problem. So when I heat it, I have to like stir, and then I shut it off and then see, is it hot enough? Okay, I turn it a little hotter. Stir. I mean, it's 30 seconds maybe to heat up food. So great. Love it. Love it. Now that I have the system figured out. I filed my California tax returns. For my personal tax returns, I need to file my California tax return for my business. I actually had to print it out. So it's sitting at a FedEx office waiting for me to pick it up. And then I'll put that in the mail, sign it, and write a check to them for $800 franchise fee, which sucks, but is what it is. And I actually forgot about that. I mean, not that I forgot about totally, but I forgot that I hadn't paid that yet. So I have very good productivity today. I signed a trademark client, which is great. Like, who they actually like signed the contract and paid the money. I have maybe like 5 others or something. I have 3 other invoices and contracts that are out ready to be signed. And then I have a couple other people who I'm still going back and forth with. So that's really good to replace the income from the ads that I'm not making. I'm hoping that I'm going to get that resolved, but if I can't, I can always do trademarks for people. I don't dislike doing trademarks. It's just that, like I've said before, it puts off when I can shut down my law firm even farther. So now since I'm filing trademarks now, it's going to be 3 years, unless they happen to get done sooner than that. But I have to kind of budget that long. Sometimes a trademark can get approved in a year, but nowadays the trademark office takes so long, you really can't count on that. Okay, so the rest of the stuff for today really is errands. You know, you need to go to my 5x10 and get the stamps in an envelope and get my backup hard drive so I can back up thing. I have some edits to a document to do. My son asked me to email my travel plans to them, which of course I will be happy to do. And yeah, I'm really going to keep just doing some work for my law firm and stuff, and staying on top of emails and getting these trademark packages started. It's kind of ironic that I'm like starting new work projects before I go to a national park. I will be unplugged Monday through Thursday because there are a few places in the national park that have service, but I can't plan on that. And the campground does not, as far as I know. There's always a possibility it might actually, but I'm just going to plan that it won't. So that means the trademark stuff can't get done, right? I've already put in my calendar that so today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm going to finish all the packing, getting ready for the trip. Friday I'm going to start going. I'm planning that either Saturday or Sunday I will be doing work. And then Monday through Thursday be unplugged. And then I might edit some video, but I won't be doing like work in the sense of my law firm work. And then I'm planning that Friday and Saturday will be work days. So I can get a bunch of work done before I go to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Now at the Grand Canyon, there might be connectivity there, at least by the visitor center hotel lodge or whatever it is, but I'm not planning on working there. But I, might be able to at least answer email and keep the balls up in the air. We shall see. We shall see. And then once I leave there, same kind of thing. I'm gonna have Friday and Saturday as work days, and then I'll go from there and see how much work I have to do. This is a weird life in the sense that I'm leaving for a trip, but I'm not going on vacation. I have, dedicated days where I'm going to unplug in the sense of not be on the internet, but I'll probably still edit video on those days. I'm not going to be shooting video in Yellowstone or the North Rim Grand Canyon because there's so much controversy about whether or not you can shoot video. I'm not gonna get into it. So I will be editing, is most likely. But of all the in-between times where I can shoot video and stuff like that. So I use FedEx Office to print out my tax return, and it's blank. But the checks appeared. So I don't know what happened, but I guess I have to write this all in my hand. Yeah, so I'm very close to getting ready to leave. So today is a Wednesday. Tomorrow is mostly going to be packing, but I also have client work to do because I got 3 trimmer clients, which is great because that replaces the money that I would have made from the ads on videos on my other channel because YouTube has decided to not pay me for my ads. That's a whole nother thing for another day, but I need to open the window stuff in here. But what that means is I need to replace the income, which I did. So that's very good. So I'll have at least 2, if not 3 clients of work. I have the client signed, but I need to, one of them has to get stuff back to me. So if they do, I'll work on all 3 of those tomorrow. That'll be the other thing that I'll do tomorrow. Also, all the packing, getting stuff out of storage, reorganizing my car, going to the grocery store, all that kind of stuff. Then Friday morning, I plan to leave crack of dawn. I'm going to drive to Lake Tahoe, and then I will see how I'm doing. You know what I mean? See how the fridge is doing, all the things. So I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I'm in Yellowstone. Monday I have a campground site in Yellowstone. I'm thinking I'm actually going to drive through the Grand Tetons National Park, Tetons National Park, and go that way. And then when I leave, come out the other side. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do that. There's Planet Fitnesses in Reno, Nevada. So Friday night, Saturday morning, I could theoretically go there. Otherwise, the next ones are in Idaho. Nevada only has them in Reno and in Vegas areas. So, because they're the parts that are very, very low population. So I'm going to plant remote places, whatever, road rest stops, whatever along that way. And then there's, I'll be able to take a shower in Idaho and then cut over and then have Monday. I think what I'm going to do on Monday is I'll go through the Tetons and go up there and enter into Yellowstone late in the day, actually. And then spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like Monday to Wednesday night at Yellowstone, and those days, obviously. Then Thursday, I could spend some time in Yellowstone. And then I made a reservation for Thursday night at a motel in Idaho. And then it's like $70. It's so cheap there compared to here. For somewhere that has really, really good reviews. And so I decided to do that to give just in case I need it. So it's already reserved, so I can cancel it midweek the day before if I realize I don't need it. But that way, if I need to charge up on my batteries, if I need to just kind of regroup, I have a hotel. It's a motel. I have a motel there ready to go. So I think that's a good idea. I am concerned about my battery, having troubles keeping it charged up. If it only uses 20% a day, that means it can go 4 to 5 days before it has to be fully charged, but then it needs to be fully charged. So we'll see how it goes. Right now it's at like 50%-ish. I might be able to fully charge it tomorrow before I go at my significant other's house. We'll see how things go with them because they've been sick, so I don't know. So we'll see about that. Driving obviously will charge it, but it takes a long time. It's only 100 watts or a little less than 100 watts when I'm driving. And I only have one solar panel, and the solar panel doesn't look at me that much more. So it's about the same speed. So we'll see how that goes. I have a lot of work that I'm going to need to do. So once I get out of that hotel, then I'll probably go down to Salt Lake. And I don't necessarily plan and be in Utah, but I'm going to need to work a lot of those days. So we shall see how that goes, working while on the road. I have a little bit of videos ready to go for this channel, but then I'm going to need to edit more videos and upload them. I wanted to have a lot more videos uploaded before I left, but I just was busy doing other things for my log business that is the thing that actually makes money, so I have to spend time on that. So my battery running my fridge is down to 41%. It went down. You had to run a lot today. Yeah. It's so funny where people are just like, it's no big deal. And it's like, yeah, it actually is. If you have a roof full of solar panels, if you're driving all day long, you can keep things charged. But if you're not, it's like it's just running down every day. So yeah, hopefully it'll get through the night and then I can deal with the problem tomorrow morning. I haven't really figured out what that will be, but I am going to run my car for a while tonight to kind of get it up a little bit. But I actually think part of the reason it's running less efficient today is because there's less stuff in there, because I drank stuff and ate stuff and there's not as much food in there now. So it's inherently running less efficient. And it's always going to happen a little bit, right? Because I'm planning to go grocery shopping tomorrow, but yeah, not quite sure what how I'm gonna troubleshoot that. In worst case scenario, I go buy ice. You know, I can do that and put a whole bunch of ice in there. I definitely don't want to do that, but I could, you know. So yeah, you know, you always have one problem or another, but I have enjoyed having sandwiches and leftovers and being able to actually cook, you know, fresh food. Okay, so I have two 12-volt plugs for the car. And how I've been doing it is one of them is just going straight into the battery that's for the fridge. And the other, I rotate out. I first start it with the battery for the CPAP. That charges up. I've not that much driving around town. And so it's charged before 8 a.m. usually by the time I get to the park if I go there. Then I switch over to that 12-volt charging my fan and my phone. And, you know, they charge that over the course of the day. I also use that to charge my Kindle and any other things that need to be charged, right? So one thing I could do when I'm driving, especially if I'm driving longer distances, is plug the fridge into one of the plugs and plug the battery, the big battery, into one of the other plugs. And so the fridge is just being run by the car, and then the battery can just be taking power from the car and not have to also give power to the fridge. The problem is then I can't charge anything else. And that is a problem, right? Because I need to charge up my battery, especially if I'm charge up my phone. Like, that's why I'm using my phone for navigation. So yeah, makes things complicated. But that's another thing that I could do when I'm traveling so I can get the battery charged up all the way. Hopefully, either if I can't take it into someone's house, I might have to charge at the library, but I'm hoping to be able to charge it at someone's house, because I could charge at someone's house in an hour and then it'd be all charged up, and then I'm at 100%, so I can start on my trip without being behind this much. Because right now it would take, you know, 9 hours to charge, like using the car. I don't know if it actually would take that long, but I'm not going to have a 9-hour travel day. I'm going to have days that are like 4 to 6, I would say 4 to 7 hours of driving. And so 7-hour driving, you would get it mostly charged, but 4 hours won't. Now, the main thing is I just really need to be, if it's at 100% when I start a trip, if I can just keep it like what I'm doing with my CPAP battery, charge enough each day so then it gets back up to about 100%. You know, then by the time I stay in a motel or whatever, then I can get it charged 100%. So overall, it was a good day. I'm still figuring out the fridge, obviously. I got 3 new trimmer clients, so that way that replaces the money from YouTube that I wasn't getting. So I'm not having financial problems, or I'm right there. And I actually have a couple other people who are maybes. So if all that stuff goes through, that's fine. It just means I have a lot of work that I have to do while I'm traveling on top of videos and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to make any videos for my other channel right now. It has videos scheduled through October. And then when I get back in town, I'll revisit that channel. It'll all depend on whether that channel is actually making money on ads. Is it bringing in enough clients to do trademark work where it makes sense to keep it? You know, I'm just gonna have to see how that is. If it ends up being that I'm making most of my money off of trademark clients, then I might just make some more trademark videos and just focus on making videos about trademarks for a while and do that solely to, you know, not solely to bring in clients, because I'm doing it for multiple reasons, but like focus on that if that's the way I'm making money right now. All right, I'm going to leave the car running to charge that up. I'm going to be here for like an hour, so I I mean, I don't really want to idle my car for an hour, but I could. And charge up all my things and then chill out, read a book on my Kindle, and then go to bed. So the fridge has an error code called F3, and it says the compressor is starting too frequently. It's like almost the same temperature outside as the fridge is on the inside. So, I mean, before the fridge is even having problems. So I don't even know why that would be true. So it said to turn it off or disconnect it for 5 minutes and then plug it back in. And if not, doesn't work, then contact the manufacturer. So yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that I was talking about, is if you have a fridge, then you have to troubleshoot the issues. And maybe you have a fridge that has never had any issues and you're lucky. I thought that the Alpicool, this fridge has been around for so many years, you know, that people had no problems with it. It had a gazillion reviews of people who used it for years and years and liked it. And maybe I just have a bad one, you know, or maybe the people who have problems don't post Amazon reviews or YouTube reviews, right? So I'm going to have it off for 5 minutes. I put a timer on. I'm going to wait to go inside Planet Fitness, and then I'm going to plug it back in, and then we will see if it goes back on. I should have done this when I was I should have checked on it in the morning when I first woke up. And that's going to be, if I can get it to work again, I take it with me on the trip. That will be something that I do, is check on it. If not, if I can't get it to work today, then I won't take it on the trip. I'll put it in my storage and I will just go to shelf stable food. And I know how to do that. And so that would be fine. It just, yeah, it would have been nice, but what are you gonna do? So left that for 5 minutes, still says contact the manufacturer. I'm definitely not going to do that today when I'm leaving on trip tomorrow. That's sad. I was kind of liking having a fridge, but not having a fridge will mean I have more room for other things. And it means that I have to be more creative about shelf-stable food, and that's fine. I'm not going to bring a cooler with me because I learned my lesson about that. It just means that I'm going to have to change what my plans were for food and everything. I'm thinking about what I'm going to make. I think I will bring my propane stove so I can do other kinds of cooking. If I don't have the fridge with me, I have more room inside the car. So I can put all my clothes in here easily without having it be a big disaster. So yeah, I'll make this work. I mean, obviously I'm going to make it work. No problem. But it just makes things a different kind of complicated. Instead of worrying about electricity, I'm going to be worried about other things. And that's fine. Okay, so we're going to plug this back in and see if we still get the same error code. Okay, it's turning on. 53 degrees in there. And now it's going to decide whether it can kick on. Are you going to do it? Oh, no, it's F3. And it's on low battery protection. So and it says 12.6 volts, which is an F1 anyway, but still. Man. This is what happened in my apartment. Is it through F3? That was only after 2 days, and this has been after 4, but yeah. Okay, so it's throwing error codes. I looked up online and it said to let it rest for 30 minutes. This is a compressor problem. The compressor is doing too much trouble. I mean, it was fine last night when I went to bed. And the thing is, it was in the 50s last night. It was not needing to run very often. It's like, contact the manufacturer. Okay, you know what? I don't have time to do that today when I'm leaving tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn. I'm leaving in less than 24 hours. I am not contacting manufacturers. Like, the thing is, this is a problem that is like, something's wrong with the compressor, something's wrong with the circuit board. Like, no, nope, nope. So I'm going to go to shelf stable, which is fine because I know how to do that. I am going to bring my propane with me. Like, this is something that will be different than what I had been living like before. Before, I was just using my electric cooker, which I very much like using. But number one, that's a risk because if my battery's low, then I can't use it. But number two, the other issue is that there's things that aren't good for cooking in that particular pot, you know, and it can't really go low. Now, my propane can't go that low either because it is decades old. However, it, generally speaking, gives me more flexibility in cooking. And it means that I have another way to cook. And it's always good to have more than one way to cook food because then you can make many different kinds of food. So that means that I'm losing everything in the fridge. Well, not everything because I put my mustard in there and that's fine. That'll still be fine. I have vegan butter that I literally hadn't even opened yet because I was planning to use it on the trip. I had sour cream that I used about half of, or actually I think I used about 2/3 of, so that's fine. And cheese that I just bought. I've only eaten 2 pieces of cheese. And then I have a couple of these guac things. I'm actually going to eat one of them right now because I really love these things. But yeah, all the rest of that food I'm not going to be eating. That's fine. That's just the way it is. And I'm going to change what my meal plan is for my trip because it's going to need to be shelf-stable food. Now I am actually much better at it than I used to be. Also, if I'm in a campground and if I'm bringing my propane, I can do other kinds of cooking that take longer amounts of time, you know? And so I'm thinking of bringing some dried beans and soaking them and then cooking that. Yeah. So I'm going to think about other things that I could bring so I can have some variety in what I eat. It does give me a bunch of room right behind my seat, so I'll be able to bring more stuff with me. So that is helpful, so I don't have to worry about, you know, having space for the fridge. Then I'll put the fridge in the storage this morning, and there you go. Okay, so I made a list of all the things that are like shelf-stable things that are either completely shelf-stable or that I'm okay with having out there in the world for a couple days, especially because Yellowstone, it's going to be cold. So I mean, I don't even really need a fridge that much for things that are fairly stable things. So breakfast, some of the time I'm just gonna have protein bars, you know, if I want to like get on the road real quick, want to go for a super early morning hike, whatever. But then besides that is having eggs either with rice or with potatoes. I'm gonna actually start with just rice because I've been having eggs with potatoes a few times and it actually wasn't that great, just because you need to cook the potatoes a fairly long time to get them cooked all the way, even if you cut them up really small. And I was having troubles with that. And then I have some onions and peppers. If I don't have refrigeration, I'll have green onions, so that way I can just use a couple at a time. For my lunch kind of meal, obviously bread or tortillas with chicken that like in the packets. So make kind of a chicken salad with hard cheese. So like a sharp cheddar cheese sandwich or tuna fish sandwich. Can't eat tuna fish too often, of course. Then a salad with the kind of protein being like a seeds and things of that nature, or nuts. And then the dressing being vinegar and oil, obviously, or I'm going to make a mustard kind of dressing or ranch because I have that ranch powder to make a ranch dressing-ish kind of a thing. And then the other thing I can do for lunches is get single serving things. So at a grocery store or whatever. So getting a prepared salad, getting just enough lunch meat to make a sandwich, getting like those little hummus with pretzels, those little things that you can get. Those are available not just at grocery stores, but even at like a 7-Eleven place. So sometimes when I'm I wouldn't get that in a national park where it'd be way overpriced, but in, you know, I'm just driving through towns or whatever, I can pick up something like that and then have some variety in what I'm eating. Then for my hot meal, I'm gonna get some more of those Indian packets from Trader Joe's that I really like. I have those with like some veg. I can't have that with rice because it's too much carbs, because it usually is like a bean or lentil base. But I can add that with, you know, broccoli or whatever, some kind of vegetable, and that makes a really nice meal. All kinds of different stir fries with rice. And then I can either cook fresh rice, which would actually be the best thing to do. But if I'm not going to be driving, then because you plug that into my 12-volt, it takes too long of my car. It takes too long for my big battery to do it because it would have to run continuously at 60 watts for like 45 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. That's a car thing. Or use the ones that I would buy. Those are more expensive, obviously. And then the proteins there being eggs, peanuts. I'm going to buy some cashews just to have a variety of, you know, nuts and beans. I'm actually thinking about bringing my dried beans, and because here's the thing, canned beans doesn't work because I can't eat an entire can of beans myself. It's way too many carbs, and also it would make my digestion have a nervous breakdown with that many beans. And I can't put it in the fridge because I don't have a regular fridge. So that doesn't really work. It would be great if I was with another person and then, or multiple people, and then we could split it up. So, but a can of beans is too many beans for me to eat personally, which I could. I really like beans, but I'm thinking I'm going to bring 1 bag of dried beans and then see about, you know, soaking the beans overnight and you know, how I'm gonna have to do a little research on how long they would have to cook. But if I use my propane cooktop, I can cook for longer than I would with electric. So I'm gonna try playing around with that. I also could make Indian food that way too, easily. And then pastas with canned chicken, salmon. That would be a way to add some variety. Tuna, obviously, beans, lentils, and then Mexican with lentils as the base. So, you know, I can make a burrito bowl or whatever with lentils as the protein. And I might even put some nuts or seeds in there. That might be kind of interesting. Also, I can always go to a supermarket and get like a quarter or a third pound of whatever meat and then just go cook that within 2 hours, you know, and that might be a thing I'll do to add some variety, you know, because I do like to have ground beef sometimes. I do want to have like I might want to make chicken tacos. And I'll tell you, cooking with the canned chicken, I dislike. So the canned chicken is fine in like a saucy pasta-y thing, for me personally. And it's also fine on a sandwich as like a chicken salad. But the consistency of it doesn't do well for cooking, like making something like tacos. I can tell that it's canned. I just don't like it. So I would want to buy something fresh for that. That's going to be fine. I think the big thing is I need to go raid my spice cabinet and bring enough spices so I can make the food taste different. So I'm not eating the same flavor profile each time. And I have a giant container of spices. So I'm going to bring some more of those with me on this trip so I can have a variety of tastes that I'm having and textures and things like that. But I think that'll be okay. Most of these things I have been eating some version of it. I'm just going to flavor them differently. So right now it is, let me look at my watch. Oh, I don't have my watch on. Shoot, it's in the trunk. Okay. Right now it's some time that I don't know what it is because my watch is in the trunk apparently. So next I'm going to go to a grocery store, a regular grocery store, and buy a few things and see if they have any sales and stuff like that. Later on, I'm going to go to Trader Joe's today. I'm going to wait to buy eggs and veggies until I'm actually on the trip because I'm not going to be cooking hot food today or for sure. I might tomorrow, but I'm not decided on that yet. I can for sure go to a grocery store in South Lake Tahoe. They have grocery stores there, obviously. But so once I'm actually on the way, then I'll buy eggs, then I'll buy onions and peppers, and I'll buy stir-fry veggies and hard cheese. But right now when I'm in town, I'm just going to stick with the shelf-stable things, which is totally fine. So at Trader Joe's, I'm going to get the Indian food packets, get cashews, and I'm going to get some more oil because I like a particular kind of oil that's at a very good price at Trader Joe's. And then at the grocery store, I'm going to look for packets and prepared rice. And I also may go to Target too. I need to write this down. I need to get, I don't know where my pen went, but I need to get paper towels. I'm out of paper towels. And then I'm also going to look at my list and see what other things I need to get at Target. Okay, getting on the way. Yeah, I was starting to get really stressed about the battery consumption because the battery was down to 40% yesterday. It's possible that part of the reason with the fridge is having problems is a low voltage problem, but it's not throwing the low voltage error. So, and it's shouldn't be low voltage, but this problem didn't happen until the battery was at 40%. So I don't know, but I'm sure as heck not going to troubleshoot this today. Since we're going to be doing shelf-stable food, I went to Safeway and spent like 40 bucks on all kinds of different things. So I got some of these rice things were on sale. This was suggested by one of y'all to these little quinoa cups, and there's different ones. And I thought this had to go in the microwave, but I didn't realize that you just eat this as like a cold salad. It has 31 grams of carbs and 6 grams of protein. So like, this is a really good thing for me. And quinoa is a great thing to eat. And it gives you a lot of, like, this is a variety, you know, and I actually really like different kinds of salads. So this will be something that I could eat for lunch. Now, these are not cheap, but it's good from a variety perspective. So another thing was people talk about canned beans. But the problem is I can't eat a whole can of beans. It's it's like 3.5 servings. It'd be way too many carbs, and it would make my digestion have a nervous breakdown. So I saw these on sale. They have like, it's like all these different non-meat, plant-based Mexican things. And this one is Mexican black beans. And so my thought is I could make this, like the whole package is 53 grams of carbs, which is a little bit high, but since it's 20 grams of protein, that's great. So my thought is to pair this with a bunch of vegetables, low carb vegetables, and it would be a really satisfying meal and kind of like a bowl, you know what I mean? So that was a thought I think would be a nice way to add variety. And this has a bit of, you know, onion powder and garlic powder in it, and then I would add other things. Another thing that y'all suggested is ghee. So I realize that this is actually, it's not just that people don't put it in the fridge. It's actually, you're not supposed to put it in the fridge. Like totally didn't understand. So this one is the lowest price one that they had at Safeway. It's the organics, like their organic store brand. And yeah, so like I'm excited about trying this. I don't quite understand how you use it in the sense of like, is it taste good on toast or is it something you just use for cooking? I haven't figured that out, but I really like how it has a smoke point of 350. So like I could use this for all kinds of different things because it'll cook at a higher temperature than butter does, regular butter does. So I'm excited about this, about trying this out. This could be a real game changer for a number of things. Okay, so now also went to Trader Joe's and spent about 40 bucks. Got a ton of stuff, shelf-stable things. So I got these apple chips. I actually have some other apple chips in there, but I think these would be great things to put on a salad to add a lot to the salad. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are very sweet. However, they'd be more as a garnish for a salad. I got multiple ones of the Indian packets. I don't think I've tried the yellow one yet. I know I already have some of these back there, but I got more because I love these Indian packets. I also got some Mexican cowboy pinto beans. So I had one of the other packs that I got these kinds of beans in a little bag that I got from the other grocery store, but I want to try different ones. This one actually has not just beans, but also has tomatoes in it, and onions, garlic, green chili, peppers, you know, so it has a lot more things in it. So I'll try different ones and see what I think of them. I decided to get these crispy jalapeno pieces, not for salad because I don't like my salads to be spicy, even though I love almost everything else to be spicy. But the idea is that this could go on, I could put these on tacos or things like that to add, you know, peppers to something if I'm out of peppers, because these are shelf stable and they're kind of fun. I got more of these. These are great to always have around in case my blood sugar is low. So spent $39 at Target. So apparently I'm spending $40 everywhere. Got paper towels. I love these make a size paper towels. They're the most efficient. The main reason I spent a lot of money there was because I got Lactaid pills. Lactaids are expensive. I got 2 of these baby wipes, no fragrance, blah, 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 that I can use for just miscellaneous cleaning up of myself. I also realized that tuna and chicken packets are a lot cheaper at Target. They're even cheaper at Target than the sale price at Safeway. So know for future reference, Target is the place to go for these. What a mess. My trunk is completely packed full, split back full. It is not packed the most efficient way it could be. It just was really hot in the parking lot at the storage place. And I just had to throw everything in the car so I could get out of there. And my car was really hot. The trunk was really hot because it was in the sun. I really wanted to do it at like 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, but things happen. I have everything except my satellite communicator. I don't know where it is. I'm thinking it actually must be in the car, but I don't know. So the number 1 thing is to find that. Number 2 thing is to repack all of this, including the stuff in the trunk, into a more efficient way. So, because right now, like, yeah, there's tons of stuff in here that doesn't need to be in here, or shouldn't be in here. I think like the most of it is food and stuff like that that can't be in here. I may actually have too much food. So I need to organize all this stuff and look for the satellite communicator before my storage place closes, which it closes at 8 p.m. So my plan is that I'm here at the parking lot of the library, and I'm actually just going to eat food. And I don't think I'm gonna do any work right now. I'm going to, it's not a good time to go to the park until like around 3 o'clock, because that's when there's good shade. And then I could easily repack all this stuff and there won't be people around and there'll be a lot of shade and it'll not be so stressful thing to do. So that's what my plan is. Right now I'm literally sitting in the car with the air conditioning on just to cool the car off. Some of the trunk was so hot, it was no good. So, and also with the car, I'm charging my big battery and my phone. my big battery, now that it doesn't have a draw on it, it won't take, you know, today and tomorrow it'll charge up, and then I'll be able to use it. So I organized the trunk. I know this looks like it's a tent, but I have an overflow bag of food. Everything is in containers, or stuff that doesn't need to be in a container, like water. With my toilet situation. Oh yeah, and this is one more. So I have 2 bags of overflow food, but everything else is in here. This doesn't have that much in it. It has room to put, this is empty. It has room to put stuff, my eggs and vegetables and all those kinds of things. So I'm actually fairly happy with how this is set up. It's kind of overflowing, but that's just because it's the beginning of a trip. So I have the most food that I'm gonna have fundamentally. But the problem is the car. Some of this is actually just something that goes to recycling. But this is mostly clothes, blankets, sheets. It's all cloth things. My solar panel is there. And then that cardboard is the thing for the tent thing for my toilet. I haven't even literally taken it out, which I want to do today. So I really thought my solar communicator was in my storage. It might actually still be there. I was putting all this stuff together, and there's these 2 people who were moving out of another storage unit, and they were stressing me out. So I didn't spend as much time there. Also, it got hot and my car was getting really hot. I was just not happy with it. So my plan is to go back there. If I can't find it now, I'm going to go back there at like, you know, 6:30. So there'll be shade. It'll be close enough to sunset, and then go through my storage until I find it. It's got to be in the car or in the storage unless it fell on the ground somewhere, which is not, I guess, impossible, but unlikely. I remember having it in the car after my last trip, and I remember thinking, oh, maybe I'll put this away because I don't need it right now. So the question is, did I put it away? I don't know. And where is away? Where could I have put it? I've of course looked in all the places that I think would be the most likely place for me to put it, and it's not in those places. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to go through my car, the inside of my car, first just to look through my car and make sure it's not in here. There's a couple places it could be that I haven't looked through yet. And second, to make sure that it didn't fall under the seat. I also have some oil. I also have some oil, car oil that I want to put with my emergency stuff. So I'm going to do that at the same time. There's a crack in between my bed and the center console that is sometimes there, that stuff sometimes falls down. So I need to go through that and see if anything fell down there, including my satellite communicator. Okay, so no, it wasn't there. I didn't find a pen. Satellite communicator wasn't there. So I'm thinking it's in my storage. I don't want to go there right now because it's be too hot for my car parked there, and I also have work to do. As you can see, the car is wackadoodle. This is all clothes and linens and blankets and stuff. The biggest problem right now in here is clothes. I think I actually am bringing too much stuff, and I'm actually bringing too much clothes. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my storage. When I go back to my storage tonight, I'm gonna bring all the clothes back in, and then I'm gonna bring like half of this. So I'm gonna bring a set of clothes, like I could bring a week's worth of clothes of clothes for, you know, like a week worth of hot weather clothes, and then a week worth of fall and winter weather clothes, and that's it. Maybe a third of this. The blankets and stuff I need, I definitely want to have more than one sheet and stuff like that, because if something happens to my stuff, I don't have a backup, and I may not be able to get to a laundromat, you know, so I don't want to just have like one sheet. So, and I want to have both my sleeping bag and an extra blanket, you know. So that's what needs to happen. Yeah, I need to cut the clothes down by a lot, because I'm literally bringing all my clothes with me. I don't need all my clothes, like that makes no sense. I need, even though the trip is a month long, I don't need to have all my clothes. I don't need to like wear different clothes every day. I can have just enough so I don't have to do laundry more than once a week. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I used to rewear clothes, but now that I get hot flashes and I actually sweat in my clothes, that's not good. I will bring extra underwear and stuff. Maybe once my hormones kick in more, like I have the estrogen patch, maybe that kicks in more. I won't have hot flashes. And also once it's cold and wintry, or at least fall-y, I may not have hot flashes anymore. So maybe the electric communicator is in whatever container that pot is in. And I don't know where it is. maybe they're together. I found it finally. It was in a drawer. It was in this drawer. Okay, I looked in this drawer twice and did not see it. It was like this underneath something else. Obviously, I was very not good at looking. Okay, light goes off, don't timer. So I have this huge relief. I felt so bad about myself, not for losing it, but I didn't lose it. I just misplaced it. It actually was in a drawer that it should have been in, but I didn't see it in the drawer. I was just not good at looking. So the only thing I'm doing now is dealing with these clothes. Hey y'all, so found my device. So happy about that. I arranged all my clothes and actually like I'm bringing a week's worth of kind of clothes for warm weather and a week's worth of clothes for cool weather. I think that's good enough. It has to be good enough. That's why I did. And then I have a thing of all my like warm pajamas and I have my long underwear. And I'm hoping that my other pair of wool socks is in the shrink wrap bag because I didn't actually unshrink wrap it. I have my raincoat, like all that stuff. So I think I'm probably maybe okay prepared. I don't know. This looks totally out of control behind me. It's literally just, that's almost all just blankets. Because I brought one extra blanket, that kind of peach colored one. And then I brought my sleeping bag. And the peach colored blanket is like, I think that's for a queen size bed. So I could like double or triple it up and then it would be like a lot of layers. It's just cotton. I want to get a wool blanket, but I don't have one yet. And then I can put my sleeping bag on top of it. I'm sure I'll be totally fine. I have totally enough blankets, but it's obnoxious amount of blanketness. So tonight will be a little bit interesting. There's also some extra stuff in here. I have that bag that has all my medicine, my prescription medicines in it. Like there's things in here that normally I used to have in the trunk. I want my prescription meds actually inside the cabin because I run the air conditioning. It usually stays cooler in here than it does in the trunk. So, and then also fundamentally the trunk is full of all the food related things. And so everything else has to go in here, which is mostly just clothes, the solar panel, which I kind of want to put the solar panel in the trunk. So I feel like that's something that looks like stealing. When I'm parked somewhere and it's, you know, a public place, like that I'm not in the car, like right now I'm in the car, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to put the solar panel and any of my backpacky things underneath the blanket. So, you know, someone may see there's a big pile in there, but it just looks like a bunch of big piles. So, you know, they can decide whether or not they think that it's worth breaking into. And also my batteries will be in here. I mean, you know, there's only so much I can do. I can't put everything of value in the trunk because the trunk's got food in it and I'm going to bear country. But I celebrated by going to Whole Foods and getting their cheese lasagna from the hot bar, which I enjoyed very much, with a whole bunch of cooked vegetables, which was good. I feel very satisfied about. I really just couldn't cook food today because I was just dealing with all that stuff. You know, I haven't gone and bought fresh vegetables because I might cook tomorrow, but I might just buy stuff to cook and then go cook it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, you know, count on necessarily cooking tomorrow. Yeah, so I realized I have a bizarre amount of food. I didn't do anything about that, but my bizarre amount of clothes, I did cut down, not bring 2/3 of it. Hopefully that will be okay. But I won't run out of clothes. I mean, I actually also have my dirty laundry with me, so I have all the stuff that is, you know, including like the clothes I'm wearing today or whatever. So I'll have enough clothes. I'm gonna have to do laundry multiple times, which is totally fine because I have times in between going to different places that I'll totally be able to go do a load of laundry. And my clothes are not very well organized yet, but I have all the containers for me to organize the clothes once I have a chance to do that. My thought is sometime tomorrow, maybe, depending upon where I end up camping, I could just sit in my car and do that. It'd be a little activity for me to do tomorrow. Where I'm planning to go, it's only going to be like a 4 to 5 hour drive. So not a big deal. And I plan to leave super early in the morning. Yeah, so there's a couple things I meant to do at the storage unit, but it's closed, so not doing those things. I meant to get my electric cooker out, and I totally forgot when I was there. I was so distracted. I was on the phone, and the other people came there and were doing stuff, and I was trying to do so many things at once. So I forgot that, which is fine. I mean, I have many other ways to cook food, but you know, I kind of did want that with me, but I'm not gonna have it with me. So that's just the way it is. And then there was something else. There was a couple of things I actually wanted to put back in there, but I didn't, which is fine. Yeah, so I am excited about going on a trip. I do feel overall ready to go, but it is like, I really enjoy be able to rely on having my storage unit and going there and getting stuff out. And so it is my home base. Even though I don't have a house, having my storage unit is a home base to have that, you know, garage of all that stuff. And it is weird to go on a trip and not be able to bring most of it with me. So I do have to keep telling myself and remember that I will totally have enough food to eat. I have many different ways to make food, to cook food, to eat food. I will not starve. I have so much food in here. There's no problem with that. I will just have to make sure that I have enough time to cook stuff and let the propane rest so it's not hot, so I can put it back in the trunk. Not that I couldn't actually put it in here if it was like just a tiny bit warm, but so I can keep an eye on it, but there's not really a lot of room in here. I do hope to organize this a little bit better. Actually, I for sure will organize it a little bit better, but maybe not tonight. That might be something I do tomorrow. Planning to go to, as I said, I'm going to Lake Tahoe, but it's a specific state park. There's many state parks around Lake Tahoe. It's one of them that's going to go to that someone recommended me to go to. So I'm going to go there and, you know, pay the $6 to park or whatever it is. And I'll spend time there. I haven't done no research about Lake Tahoe. I don't know anything about it. So someone's like, you should go there. I'm like, okay, that's where I'll go. So yeah, so I'm going to go do that. I'm excited about it. It'll be nice to be on the road. It'll be great to go somewhere I've never gone before. And there'll be just the very beginning of it. I'll be driving on interstates. And then after that, I'm going to be driving on a highway. I haven't decided what route I'm going to take in Nevada. If I'm going to drive on 80 and take the main interstate. I don't know. No, I did take that. So I have driven it before. Or I could take 50. So I've driven 6 and I've driven 80, but I don't know if I drove 50 or not. I can't remember. So I haven't decided which route I'm going to take. I have, like, this is on Saturday. I have, you know, that whole day to do. So I could go a longer route in more kind of neat roads versus driving Interstate 80. So my plan is on that day to get from the Lake Tahoe, Reno, whatever area to go driving through Nevada and getting to Utah. And then I'll be in Idaho for a day. And then Monday leave to go to Wyoming through and then get up to where I'm going to be at Yellowstone. But there's always cool places to go in Idaho. Some places I've been to the Craters of the Moon, whatever that place is called, the volcanic thing. So I have a research Charlie, I think. I have my maps though. It's all figured out.